give those people a backup as well.
Minister Jennifer Carroll McNeill, please.
Thank you, Ceann Comhairle, and I want to thank deputies for coming and raising the different issues today. And actually, I might say to Deputy, and congratulations on your election by the good people of Mayo. I was in Mayo yesterday, and I want to pay particular tribute to Peter Healy, the Facilities Manager of Mayo University Hospital, and Patricia Ho, the on-duty manager, who did extraordinary work along with all of the staff at Mayo University Hospital to make sure that staff were in advance, in anticipation of the storm, ready for the next shift, to do extraordinary work in terms of facilities. And I also want to acknowledge some of the difficulties and the resiliences that we're going to have to fix for the future. Mayo University Hospital, by way of example, had a significant investment in its generators in 2023. That gave the staff there over the past number of days, but particularly during that storm period, real confidence that not just were their generators up to date, but they were well fueled, and they had real confidence on the generator side of things. Absolutely just the most basic importance. But where there was a difficulty was, of course, as you have said, where the generators weren't there with Éowyn and the threat of a water shortage to a hospital. Now, it didn't happen, but I'm highlighting it as a risk and a resilience that has to be fixed for the future, and acknowledging this part went well, and while something bad didn't happen on the second part, it could, and we have to fix that for the future. But I do want to pay tribute, as you've just raised, Mayo, to the staff there. As on the night before the storm, the evening that I was appointed as Minister for Health, I went directly from the Áras to Crumlin Children's Hospital, who again, the staff there were preparing for the storm. And many, many staff were coming in. They were sleeping overnight, again, in anticipation of being there for the shift at 7 a.m. They were there getting takeaways, putting down mattresses, making sure that everybody was there. But it wasn't at all there. And I really do want to pay tribute to the 400 staff in Cork University Hospital, the 200 on site at Mercy University Hospital, 60. This was replicated across the country. And it was about, if you look at overall the health response and the health preparation, it was about ensuring three things in particular. One, provision of service in acute hospitals, both in terms of staff, generators. Two, our community who live in HSE residential care facilities and making sure that they were protected and looked after. And three, as so many deputies have highlighted, the communities, people in their homes, but who are receiving HSE supports of a range of different kinds, whether it's home help, whether it's support with medical devices, a whole range of different supports in the home, which are so important. And that was the focus, making sure that those people were looked after and protected. Now, successes and failures. The power went out in Limerick, it went out in Letterkenny, but the generators kicked in. So you can imagine that one of the first questions that I'll be asking in terms of our resilience planning for the next event, and we have to acknowledge with climate change, Ceann Comhairle, there will be a next event of some kind. What is the up-to-date situation with generators across the hospitals? We didn't have a problem on this occasion, but let's check and double check. The same with Éowyn and the same with our residential care facilities. There was a number of pieces of important preparation, for example, construction sites at hospitals and other facilities. For example, in Limerick, where we're building a very significant new facility, as Deputy will know, about securing that and making sure that that was okay. Preparation in relation to vaccines, for example, where there's a cold chain of storage that must be protected and respected. And the work that was done with GPs in advance of the storm, anticipating power outages, to secure as many of those vaccines as possible. Could we do it better next time? Yes, absolutely, I think we can. And they are the sort of questions that I will be drilling in as new Minister for Health to make sure that we are building further resilience in the health system in anticipation of major events such as that. I also want to pay tribute to the staff, for example, just by way of example, in the Sacred Heart Centre in Castlebar, in your own constituency, Deputy, who spent very considerable time making sure that the fuel for generators was topped up right around the community. I use these specific examples to describe the breadth of work done by hard-working individuals in our healthcare systems, from consultants turning up, from nurses turning up the night before, to facilities managers, to on-call managers trying to secure accommodation not just for hospital staff, but people who were presenting to emergency departments, not just now, but in anticipation of events or in anticipation of a concern. And to recognise the extraordinary work that they have done. But there is a significant impact, more than anybody else, on a group of vulnerable people that you've correctly identified, who are in their homes and who remain without power. Now, on the one hand, while there has been good work done by HSE going to those homes and identifying vulnerable people, and that list changes, by the way. You can be on a list for a considerable period as a vulnerable person, or perhaps you've simply had an operation and you're vulnerable for a period. And one of the things that I will be checking is how is that list managed over time, and how does that correlate with the list that the Gardaí have, or indeed
Thank you, Minister.
the ESB.
And then
I thank deputies.
Deputy